Where are you going? Don't leave me. I need you. Where are you? I miss you. Stay with me. If you leave, I'll never forgive you.
The Walt Disney Corporation, creating magic and encouraging kids to follow their dreams since 1923. They own almost every major entertainment market these days, but where they really shine, their entertainment for the young, impressionable generation. You would imagine a company that strives to inspire such happiness and joy would be an amazing place to work. However, we have seen in recent years that may not exactly be the case.
Tell me.
How does one go from this?
What are you asking for your birthday?
I'm actually asking for everybody to just be happy. I'm really hoping that everybody has a great time here tonight.
You are so sweet.
To this. All my friends think you're a bitch. They wish I was over it. Should've left you in a ditch. But I'm not over it. That's right, I'm not over it. 'Cause I'm a super broken bitch. I'm a super broken bitch.
I know what you're thinking. This is just her way of growing up and expressing herself. She's mature now, but I don't think any mature adult would be caught making a song that horrendous. No, I think there's more to this game than that. Much more, in fact. So let me take you on a journey. I will be your guide down this rabbit hole. My name is
Mr.
Logical.
otherwise known as Mr. L, and I would like to present to you, as best described by the article, the never-ending Disney curse.
Anything. Yeah, of course. We read like so much shit all the time.
Let's say specifically the brothers.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all encompassing. Biggest regret in regards to the brothers. Season 2 of Jonas. It's a big regret. We shouldn't have done that. It really stunted our growth, you know.
Catapulted into the spotlight as a preteen came with its drawbacks. She discussed feminist issues about not being paid appropriately. She's talked about having body issues because of the show. And she's talked about not having the freedom to be herself.
And you would sleep in between scenes because you were exhausted. And I'm like, what did you do last night? And you're like, I wrote like 12 songs.
No, that's so true. I wasn't sleeping, and like, I was so miserable and like angry too, because I felt like I was being overworked.
She also, yes, everybody wants to put you in every aspect of life in general. They want to put you in a box, but specifically being with the background of that box is really, really tight and small, and it's wrapped like the most perfect present you've ever seen, and it's unattainable. It's completely unattainable, and to even think.
Hold on. Did you catch that? Because I did. It seems to be somewhat of a pattern developing here. Feelings of regret and stress. But what stands out the most to me is the feeling of being trapped inside the ever-growing machine of a global successful conglomerate such as Walt Disney. Now, we have seen situations like this in the entertainment media before, where young stars are thrust into the spotlight at a very young age and suffer greatly from constant pressure and attention, never given due time in order to cope or deal with any of the problems they may be going through. Fact of the matter is, in the last couple years, the mouse seems to have been the poster boy for creating these very unhinged child-adult stars. Or at the very least, having a heavy hand in creating the toxic environment for these problems to breed and flourish. Whether you blame Disney for everything or chalk it up to Hollywood just being Hollywood, there's clear evidence that Disney will take and have taken the extra mile in ensuring that they have as close to 100% control over their stars as they possibly can.
Don't believe me?
Let's have a peek at this article outlining some of the rules Disney stars are permitted to follow. One strict rule Disney stars have to follow is being good at all times. For example, in an interview with New York Times, Selena Gomez, who starred in Disney Channel's Wizards of Waverly Place, explained that she was put on a pedestal and needed a break. "I'm growing and changing," the Disney star said. "I was in a relationship and I was being managed by my parents. And I was still under Hollywood and Disney, and I was being held to this expectation of being the good girl." While a lot of kids watch the Disney Channel and the network, definitely has a younger demographic, the strict rules that Disney stars have to follow, like being a good girl or boy, is lot. Appearing super innocent. In fact, as Bella Thorne, who starred in the Disney Channel original series Shake It Up, told Nylon in an interview, she got kinda sick of people telling her how to behave. Finally, when I got off the Disney Channel, I stopped listening to people telling me what I needed to be. I literally would talk with a higher voice in interviews because that was the whole innocent Disney appeal. They are working constantly. I grew up in the spotlight and on tour, with everyone just knowing me and knowing me a certain way. I was just making records and touring and making movies and then doing it all over again, and I basically did a cycle of that 4 times, and by the end of it, I was like, I'm done. I don't enjoy this anymore. I'm not who I want to be. Disney stars had zero creative freedom. I mean, we had a really awesome idea of where the show needed to go. We were 18. If that isn't old enough to know exactly what a show needs, then, well, I would beg to disagree. I don't think Disney were willing to work with us, really, ever. Disney stars forced to compete all the time. Zendaya and I were put in a very unfortunate position where we were kind of forced to compete against each other during Shake It Up, which made the whole first season of the show just very awkward for us. We wanted to love each other, but yet we were constantly being put against each other. It was who's better at this and who's better at that. Disney puts a lot of pressure on its young stars, and seemingly strict rule that they have to compete is disappointing. These are just a few of the many rules, unspoken or otherwise, that Disney and the channel are enforcing on their young stars. I will be linking the full article in the description in case you all wish to see these other rules that were outlined. I have to admit, the evidence is rather damning towards Disney right now. It wouldn't be so bad if they simply responded to all the allegations being thrown their way, because as far as I have found, they have really said nothing about it. And maybe that's the whole point of it. Why would they need to respond when they are a multi-billion-dollar company, well established, and all they need to do is just to release the next Frozen movie and boom, all sins forgiven. It's interesting how much they try to protect their squeaky clean image by enacting all these ridiculous rules, while not considering the consequences of the rules after they've been enacted. I, for one, have not forgotten. And Disney, whether or not they want to admit it to us or themselves, have stolen these people's voices, stolen their choices, and essentially stolen their childhood right out from under them. Now, some fault of course must lay with the parents as well. You should have been aware something like this could have happened to your child and plan accordingly. But I'm sure the money and fame in the moment was too much to turn down. And although I would say personally I wouldn't allow any of this to happen to me, I can't truly say until I'm in the situation myself. Another important thing to keep in mind is that these rules are gathered from the information told to reporters by the actors of the company, making them 100% biased to their point of view. And until Disney decides to say anything of note about it, that is how it will inevitably stay. Now, there are of course Disney stars who moved on in a dignified manner, and have done and continue to do alright for themselves. But is there really any question as to why the majority go rogue? They're essentially caged animals, never exposed to the outside world, and then told to do whatever they want, act however they want. They are free now. No more chains, no more shackles. And what do you think they do? They do everything that you told them not to do. They stick it to the person that kept them down for years and years, and they go nuts. How bloody ironic. I want to thank you for watching. I know it was a long journey, but together we uncovered something truly amazing. If you haven't already, feel free to leave a comment down below about your thoughts on the video. I'm interested to see what you guys think, and I'm always up for some constructive criticism. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, as well as subscribe and hit the bell button in order to be notified of when I come online again. I do not exist alone on this channel. I share it with a few, let's just call them f***s. You can find their videos on screen here. Their content is a little different from mine. All of us have our own unique quirks, but they are very entertaining, and I suggest that you take a look anyway. And rest assured, none of them are any PC Disney crap. Now I must take my leave, as will you. Don't forget the lessons we learned here today. My name is Mr. Logical, and I am signing off for now. Remember to stay safe and always keep your eyes open.